Hi guys, today I'm going to be testing out some Let's Resin products. I have their intense chameleon mica powders and their dragon egg. I've never made this dragon egg before, so this is going to be my first time making it too. So I'm going to turn these inside out so that I can use these mica powders to paint the inside of the scales to make them pop. I'm not sure what I'm doing here either, so we're going to learn together. But these chameleon powders are gorgeous. That's the green one. This one is the blue one. Then there's like a bronzy color. That one looks like it was a little bit open, but there was no spillage, so it's all good. The packaging was fine. And this one has reddish tints to it. And then the last one is the gold. So I'm going to start. It also came with this little brush, which is awesome, I think. And I'm going to start painting this on to the mold. Now I am going to speed this up quite a bit because the painting took about an hour to do, and I'm sure you don't want to sit here for an hour watching me do this. So we're just going to speed this up. Now this, like I said, this is a new mold to me. I've never done this egg mold before. Typically when I do a new mold, which you guys know from past videos, I just pour a simple color. But this dragon egg needed way more than just one simple color. Plus I wanted to try out these new mica powders that I just got from Let's Resin also. So I'm pretty excited about this. The colors are super intense. I'm just kind of layering those in there. I'm not sure what it's going to look like in the end, but I'm just going to layer all of these on here until I think it looks decent. Right now I'm going in with the gold. I've already done blue and green. This is going to be a very colorful dragon egg. And when you get down to the bottom, make sure that you go all the way around the edges, because if you don't, you're not going to have color all the way down. So that's why right here, I'm just kind of going all the way around. Now that is the top. It is done. And I'm going to flip that back the right way and kind of go through it and make sure that all of the areas are covered. Because sometimes when you look at it from a different angle, you can kind of see spots that you missed. Now I'm going to move on to the bottom half of the egg. Now you can see at the top there are still those scales. So I'm going to continue with the same pattern of colors that I used on the top of the egg to fill in just those scales. Now the very bottom part is kind of like, they look like crystals when it's done, and they are what the egg is sitting in. So those I'm going to use like the bronzy colors. And again, I'm going to speed this way up just so that it doesn't take forever for you guys to get through this video. This is the most time-consuming part of the video, is just painting this egg, but I really think it's worth it. Now, this is going to be the top portion of the egg where it meets the lid. So that's why I'm doing it in the same colors that I did the top part, so that it all matches once this is all turned inside out and poured. So I'm just going to keep going around. Make sure that you, again, get that very top lip so that that has color on it too. And then I'm just going to go in with the blue. And you can see I'm kind of being a little bit careful and trying to make sure that I'm only doing those scales, because I don't want to get the bottom part yet, not until I switch colors. And in between each color, I'm just using a paper towel and wiping my brush off. I'm not doing a lot of cleansing or switching of brushes. I'm using the same brush, just kind of wiping it off a little bit on that paper towel. And here we go with the bottom part. I've switched to that reddish color, and I'm just kind of filling in some areas. Now these are a little bit more difficult because those are indented so much that you really have to continually move the mold around, looking at all of the crevices, making sure that you get that mica powder in everywhere. Because if you don't, your backing color, whatever color you use for the resin when you pour it, that's going to show through any of those areas and kind of, not, I don't want to say ruin, but it's going to spoil those areas of the chrome look that you're going for. You can do this with any color mica powder. You could even just color your resin. You don't have to use mica powders if you don't want to. And there is the bottom part. Now I'm just rolling it around, making sure that I've gotten all of those crevices. Going to shake out any little extras and then flip it inside out. Don't worry about that resin that's on that center part. That's not going to show in the end. So you just gently, so you're not pulling off any of that mica powder in those areas, gently turn it inside out, check for any bare spots, and those are good to go. Now we're going to get some resin going. Now, Let's Resin does this with some of their molds, and I absolutely love it. They actually put on the side how many ounces of resin you need for each one. Now, as you can see, the lid is already poured because I forgot to hit play on my phone before I started pouring this, and then I realized it, so I hurried and put play. So I just poured the lid already. Now I'm mixing up the resin for the base. Okay, so I've got the resin mixed up, and I'm using the Let's Resin black pigment paste to color it. This I bought, I think it's a 6-pack or an 8-pack. I'll link it below, but there's all different colors. And these are the pigment pastes made by Let's Resin, which I think are pretty good. And I'm going to mix some of that in. While I'm doing that, the lid took 6.5 ounces is what the mold says, and the base says it takes 7.4 ounces. So I have exactly 7.4 ounces of resin mixed up in my cup here. The thing is that Let's Resin is pretty darn accurate with these, and I absolutely love that because it just takes out that guesswork, and it's actually printed on the mold, so there's no guesswork. And look at that, it's like literally right up to the top. 7.4 ounces. That is a lot of resin if you think about it, but I really like how it looks, and I think that people will like these. There's a lot of different uses for this, and these are great for kids too, for little storage things. I have a granddaughter that I think is going to absolutely lose her mind when I make her one. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to pinch all of those little areas of the mold that stick out from the sides to get any air bubbles out. Now, this is a very important step. I did not do this enough. So you're going to see in the end, I actually on this one have some tips on some of those crystals that didn't come out. It's been 24 hours. It is time to take these bad boys out of the mold. Again, a great shine on that, so much so you can see me. So we've got that Let's Resin pigment paste. It's got a really, really nice shine to it. I actually really like that. And right there on that edge where my thumb is where it says the ounces, that this lid takes 6.5 ounces to fill. Well, let's get this out of the mold and see what we have here. I'm pretty excited about this. Like I said, this being the first time I poured this one, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had just seen it. I think this is a pretty new mold to Let's Resin. I could be wrong on that, but I haven't seen it before. And I look for Let's Resin molds because I really like the quality of their molds. And there's the lid. Oh my gosh, I love, love, love that color. And you guys have to please excuse my voice. I've had this video done for a while, but I got a really bad sinus infection and I couldn't do the voiceover for it because my voice was so bad. It is a lot better now, but it's still not my normal voice. So please, Ignore my voice. Now let's get this bottom part out of the mold and let's see what we have here. I'm trying to be careful because I'm not sure how this is going to come out. With all those crystal areas jutting out, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to hurt any of those. I probably could have let this sit a little bit longer too before taking it out. It was still a little bit movable, I guess. It was the best term I could use. When I took it out, it hadn't fully set, so you can see me kind of squeezing it, making sure that that's round. But oh my gosh, look at those colors. When they say intense, they mean it. That was a very thin layer of those chameleon mica powders that I put on there. And look at that shine. I cannot wait to make more of these. Now you can see when I turn it, there's like a tip there missing. That's because a bubble was in there. Yep. And I didn't get that out. There's also a couple bubbles around the edge of the lid. So those are a couple things that I need to work on the next time I pour this one. This one's probably going to be just for me anyway, so I'm not as picky, but I wouldn't sell this one because of those flaws. I'm just a little bit too much of a perfectionist, but I love how this came out. I hope this helped some people. I hope that it taught some people how to paint with mica powder. If you guys have any questions or want to see anything else, let me know in the comments. Have a great day.